everyone, welcome to my vlog. I'm Claire and this is Love's Red Sews. Slightly different location this morning. I am currently just having a little walk out along the canal with Ralphie, and the whole vlog won't be here, by the way. I just thought I'd pop on quickly just to say hi, and then when you see me next I'll be back in my sewing room. But I thought I'd just do a quick little intro. Slightly different location today. Let me show you Ralph. He's in front of me. There he is. It's quite nice along the canal. Just sort of, it's not far from where we live. It's kind of like a 10-minute walk, and it's relatively quiet. We sometimes come across other dog owners or walkers. But it's nice and quiet this morning. It's not as cold today as it was yesterday. It was really bitter, and we've got some boiler sort of heating and hot water issues at the moment. So our boiler keeps losing pressure, and then we're waking up in the morning without any heating. Oh, leave that, Ralphie. There's a dead fish. I don't want him to try and eat that. Yeah, we keep waking up in the morning with no heating on, and we've also got a problem with the hot water side of things as well. So leave it, come on. So we've got what am I trying to say? I was a bit distracted then, sorry. So we've actually got no hot water at the moment. Did try and get that up and running this morning. The boiler man was meant to be back yesterday, but unfortunately he couldn't get the parts. He's now back on Monday, so we kind of got to go the whole weekend. So this morning I actually washed my hair. It really needed a wash, so I washed my hair in cold water, which was lovely. But it wasn't too bad. I managed to get through it okay, just on my head. It's not ideal. And then I just had a little bit of a I just filled the sink with hot water from the kettle, basically, and just had a little wash that way. Yeah, so it wasn't an ideal situation really, but you know, I managed to get by. We've got heating on at the moment, which is good. The boiler does keep kind of losing pressure, but when we do that we just have to kind of refill it. So we're kind of limping along for the weekend, and thankfully I'm not really going anywhere this weekend. I've got no plans. So my husband is actually out today. He is meeting a friend in London for the day, which they haven't done for ages. So I've got a whole day to myself, and basically I plan on kind of sewing. So I will come back in a few minutes once I'm back at in my sort of sewing room. I mean, it won't be a few minutes for me, but it'll be a few minutes for you. Just checking nobody's running on the pathway and gonna surprise me. But yeah, it'll be a few minutes for you when I come back on, but I'll kind of talk all sewing once I'm back on. Sorry for the noise. This bit of the canal, there's actually some industrial units just along here, and it can be a little bit noisy because they have various kind of things running, machines, and so it's not always the quietest bit there. So we've actually had a really busy week, so I'm quite tired today. So I was out Monday night for dinner. I met Alison from Sew Like Dotty, and met my friend there as well, Julie. So the two of us met up with Alison, and she was down in Northamptonshire doing a training course with Baby Lock, so that was really nice to meet her. And then Tuesday I was out all day on site visits. My husband was out all day on site inspections Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then he's out all day today. And in between that, we also took our car in to the garage for its service and MOT, which actually is quite a bit of a hassle because it's probably about half an hour drive from where we live, and we've only got one car, so we have to borrow my mum's car when we do that. I'm trying to hold, my arm's aching. We have to borrow my mum's car, so we have to drive over to my mum's, pick up her car, drive to the garage, drive home. Then when we go back and get our car, we have to then drop my mum's car back to her, so it's a little bit of a faff. Hello. Hello. You okay? Ruff is watching all the boats. I think he's a bit unsure. Yes, it's been a lot this week. And yeah, took our car in on Thursday and expecting to... Sorry, you can't even see me, can you? Expecting to go back on at the end of the day to pick it up, and then they called to say they hadn't quite finished everything. Could they keep it overnight? Which, you know, these things do happen, I understand that. When my husband was out on Friday, thankfully he didn't need the car. He'd pre-booked a train ticket for the journey that he had to do on Friday. But it just meant that it was a lot more hassle because I had to go and do it all on my own, and I had to go and pick up my mum first, then she drove her car there, and then, you know, drive home from there. So yeah, I think all in all, when I got there, the car wasn't even ready, even though they told me it'd be ready by 12. So I was actually out of the house for about 2 hours, and I was working. But thankfully my work are quite good about stuff like that, and I had my phone and stuff with me, so I'm quite lucky that my work are quite flexible with stuff like that. But yeah, it's just been a week a bit, so I'm feeling quite tired today. Anyway, I've kind of turned around and I'm walking back along the canal now, so I'm going to sign off here after all my ranting and moaning about my week, and I'll come back to you once I'm back in my sewing room, so I shall see you shortly. Hi everyone, so welcome back. I am now back in my sewing room, so welcome if you are new, and welcome back if you're an existing subscriber. As I mentioned on my sort of little intro while I was out on the walk, I'm Claire and this is my vlog Love Thread Sews. So I hope you enjoyed that little that little walk along the canal, just hearing about my sort of busy and stressful week this week, but now I'm back in my sewing room and I'm going to talk to you about sewing, what I've been up to this week, and what my sort of up and coming plans and stuff are. So before I start, I will just share with you what I'm wearing. So I have got on a LB pullover, so I'll just step back so that you can see that in full. So it's quite a nice length. I think when I made this one, actually, it was a little bit short. Like it came out kind of short like that, and I just wanted it, I basically kind of like my tummy to be just slightly covered, so you can see it's kind of just at my hip length, I guess. So I actually added a little band on the bottom of this, which I took from the grain line linden pattern. It's a really nice kind of band, and I've used it on other tops and stuff as well, so it's kind of like a standard hem band that I use sometimes, so I just kind of slightly lengthened it with that. This is in a jacquard knit. I really love the colours of this, pink and red. You probably would have seen this already in a previous vlog if you are a regular viewer of my vlogs. I have actually put a Naya t-shirt on underneath this, just in this red. This fabric is actually really soft, and it's kind of like a really lightweight French terry. It's got a slight loop back on the back, but it's just like an extra layer underneath this jumper. So, and I have just paired it with these little earrings that I got from Sapphire Frills quite a long time ago. They're kind of like little lollipops, but they've got the same red and pink on them, so I thought they kind of went quite well with this top. So last week I talked about that I was making the Naya Tee dress, and you'll see just to the side of me here is my finished dress. So I finished this last Sunday. It didn't actually take that long sort of to come together really. I kind of did little bits of it over the week, so it was quite nice. I get a little bit of time when I finish work. I generally try and finish around 5, half 5. I work from home, and I don't sort of tend to like stay logged on for ages, and often my husband is still working kind of like for another hour after that, so I generally have a little bit of time, maybe about an hour or so before we then sort of sit down for dinner. And sometimes if I'm in the middle of a sewing project, I will sort of pop on and just do a little bit. So each day last week when I was able to, I kind of just did a little bit. It might have been 10 minutes at a time, half an hour, and it sort of, the dress kind of came together, and then I finished most of it over the weekend. So I'll just bring it a little bit closer so that you can see, but the fabric is absolutely gorgeous. I absolutely love this colour. I haven't actually sewn that much with this kind of bright green, and I really love it actually. And I found these buttons that I had in my stash, which are from, I think they're like vintage buttons. They might be from that Buffin's vintage buttons that I bought a long time ago, but I thought they kind of went quite well. I was thinking about doing snaps on this initially, but when I kind of I had some sort of metal snaps, and when I put them on there, I thought, I don't know if they quite go, because I thought they kind of were more suitable for kind of like a coat or a bag or something like that. So I kind of put my big girl pants on and went ahead and did my buttonholes, which I was kind of avoiding because I'm always nervous about them, but the buttonholes came out absolutely perfectly, which I was really pleased about. So there was no kind of hassles there. Trying to do that button back up. So yeah, I was really pleased how that came together. And then what I did also, so you'll notice that this neckline is slightly different to the original Naya Tee. So if you're familiar with the pattern, the Naya Tee actually has like a little stand-up collar that goes around it. I've never been that, I've made a couple, I think maybe 2 or 3 Naya Tee in the past, and I've never managed to get a completely neat finish at the neckline with that little collar. And so I had seen this hack that Marie from Stitch Odyssey, she had previously shared quite a long time ago, where she basically shared a tutorial which you don't use the collar, but you draft a facing that goes all the way around. So that's what I did basically. I drafted this facing, so that goes down all the way to here, and then it goes around the whole of the inside. And then what I did is I just secured it with a little bit of stitch in the ditch at the shoulder line, so that the facing doesn't flip out. But I mean, I have actually worn this dress, so it's probably not looking completely crisp. Corduroy is quite hard to sort of iron anyway, so it's not looking completely flat, but it does lay nice and flat. And I put a little Rosy Cheeks label in, which I thought went really well because it picks out the colour of the green. And what I also did with this, so there's 2, let me hang it back up here and then I can sort of tell you. I'm just going to grab the pattern actually, so that I can, oh my goodness, everything's falling down now. Right, so with the Naya Tee pattern, you've got 2 views. So you've got this view here, which you've got a piece here, and then you've got a ruffle around the bottom, and that, I think both of these actually probably sit, I think this one might sit just sort of on the knee, this one is probably just under the knee. And as you can see, this one here with the straight skirt, it's a slightly longer pattern piece to this one. However, what I wanted my dress to be a bit longer, so what I actually did was I used this skirt piece from this version, and then I added the ruffle on the bottom of that. So it made it kind of midi length on me. I didn't go with the sleeve ruffle because I thought this dress I'm probably going to wear more in sort of cooler weather, and I think if I decide to pair it with a cardigan, sometimes it can be hard to get that ruffle sort of to sit nicely underneath the cardigan. So I just did the sort of very flat, plain flat sleeves, and I'll pop a couple of pictures in of me wearing it. I did actually wear it out on Monday evening, and I paired it with a long sleeve black t-shirt underneath, some black tights and some boots, which I really loved actually. I really liked the way it looked, and it kind of meant that you could kind of show off the whole dress. And then I thought, then going into spring, you know, when the weather starts warming up a little bit, I don't necessarily have to wear the long sleeve top underneath it. I could wear it with the short sleeves, maybe with a little cardigan, or, you know, if it's warm enough without the cardigan. So I kind of tried to make it as versatile as I could. But I was so pleased with how it turned out, and the colour is just beautiful. I did share it on my Instagram this week, and I've got a lot of love on it. Probably one of the most popular garments I've made, I think, which I was really surprised about. So yeah, as you will have seen, I've popped a few pictures in of me wearing it, and yeah, I'm just really pleased with it. So I think I might end up making another couple of Maya Sotis dresses actually, because I really love the way that it's quite fitted at the top and then flares out. So I carry most of my weight in the middle, and my chest is a little bit on the larger side, but the Maya Sotis seems to fit really well. So I did actually cut a size 42 of this. Oh, one thing I should mention actually, I don't know whether they've increased their sizing, but this pattern only goes from, so it's a size 34. Well, their sizing is like 34 up to 46. So that starts from a bust of 31.5 inches, and it goes up to a bust of 41 inches. So it's not overly size inclusive. I don't know whether they've updated the pattern. I have a feeling that is not the case. But the finished garment measurements for the largest size is a 46-inch bust and a 39-inch waist. So it's really not very size inclusive. So I ended up going with the size 42, and my current bust measures 40 inches, and the finished garment measurements for the size 42 is actually 42 7/8. So it was a pretty perfect fit, to be honest. I didn't have to make any adjustments to this pattern at all. So I didn't shorten anything on the bodice, I didn't shorten the sleeves, I didn't shorten any of the pieces. I literally cut it as it is, and it's come out absolutely perfectly. So it's not very often that I don't have to make any adjustments to the pattern. As you know, I'm petite, so I'm only 4'11", and I'm quite short in the body. Quite often I have to shorten across here. I didn't have to do that in this pattern. I didn't have to shorten anything here. And yeah, it was just absolutely perfect. So I haven't made the Maya Sotis for a long time, and I know it was a popular pattern back in the day. So I'm kind of glad I made it again. I can see why people love it so much, and I'm definitely going to be exploring some other options. I'd quite like to make maybe more of a summery one in a nice sort of bright kind of summery fabric that I've got in my stash, maybe a nice viscose or something. So yeah, you'll probably expect to see a couple more of these popping up at some point. So that's pretty much the only thing that I have made this week, to be honest. And then I basically started to have a look through my sort of project plans and things that I'm sort of like had in my mind and stuff, as to what to make next. And I've got a few things coming up that I do need to kind of make a start on. So I have got what have I got coming up? So my birthday actually is one thing coming up. So my birthday is in a couple of weeks' time, and I mean, I don't have any big kind of major plans. It's quite a chill one this year. Last year I turned 50 and we had quite a lot going on for that. This year it's very chilled. We do have a evening out the day after my birthday, which it's like a little kind of concert thing, which is just going to be in Birmingham. So I am tempted to make a dress for that. I possibly will wear the Naya Tee dress for that evening out, but if that doesn't happen, and if I get the other dress that I'm planning basically for my birthday is the Aspen dress by Fabric Godmother. I haven't actually traced this off or cut out the pattern or anything yet, but my plan is to make that in the... Oh, chucking things all over the floor now. My plan is to make that in the denim that came in the Dream Wardrobe box, and I'd really like to kind of get making that up. Now, I have been a little bit undecided on what size to trace off, so I think that is kind of where my hesitation is, because when it's a pattern that I've not made before, I'm always nervous about cutting straight into the fabric and then getting it wrong. As you know, as I've just mentioned, I normally have to make quite a few adjustments to patterns. So I kind of, I know when I made, that's not for you, Ralphie. When I made the Fabric Godmother Fleur dress, I cut a size 12 D cup for that. So I'm kind of thinking I might go along the same lines as that. And then if I find that it's a little bit big, you know, a little bit loose kind of in the bodice, I'm thinking I can probably then take that in a little bit more down to the size 10. I don't really, because it's difficult to know what the fit is. So I know the top of the dress is meant to be fairly fitted, and then, you know, the rest of the dress, it doesn't matter too much. I suppose a little bit like the Naya Tee, where you've kind of got like the gathered part of the skirt. So I know that bit will be fine, but it's just getting the right fit sort of at the top. So I kind of thought, well, being that my chest is a little bit larger, I think I'll definitely go with the D cup option, and I know that has darts in it, and then I'll cut the 12. If I find that a little bit loose, I can kind of recut that then down to the size 10, either that or I can use a slightly larger seam allowance. So my intention this weekend is to get that traced off so that I can make a start on that. So that is one thing that I would really like to get. However, that is it's not a massive priority, that one, because if I don't get it finished for my birthday, then I can just wear the Naya Tee dress. We do actually have a party to go to next weekend. So next Saturday, a friend of ours, actually he turned 40 a couple of days ago, and he's having a 40th party. So that's going to be good fun, because I've not actually been to a party for goodness knows how long. So that'll be fun. But I don't really know what to wear, to be honest. You know, we don't go to a lot of parties, and my sort of general sort of wardrobe style, I guess, is fairly casual. I don't really have that many sort of dressy up kind of going out clothes. So I did think I might possibly wear my gold slate skirt that I made for Christmas, because I've only worn that once for my work Christmas party. So I might just revisit that and wear that again out for next Saturday. But yeah, anyway, I digress. So yeah, so one of my plans this week and probably this weekend is to trace off the Aspen dress and get that done. And then one of the things I've got coming up is Plymouth Frocktails. So I am off to Plymouth Frocktails in March. So I think it's about 5 weeks time. So March sounds like quite a long way off, but it's only, I think it's actually 5 weeks today. So what I've decided to do for that is to actually wear something I have already made. And that is I made a Saturday skirt in this jacquard fabric that I was gifted from a company called Long and Craft. So it's kind of like it's got a bit of shimmer in it. It's got these little gold kind of bits. I mean, you can see on the back the gold kind of thread weaved through it. And so I made a Saturday skirt in that. We'll pop a picture in to remind you. And what I was thinking of doing originally was my kind of original plan was to make an Aston top by Helen's Closet. So it's just a very basic kind of shell top, sleeveless. It does kind of flare out slightly, so it's very slightly A-line. I've never made the top before, but I basically cut out a version out this week, just in a remnant of cotton fabric that I had, which I thought was sort of similar weight to this, fairly structured, and I just wanted to get an idea on kind of how it fitted before I went ahead and cut it out from the remainder of this fabric, because I didn't want to cut straight into this, and then if I didn't like it or it didn't fit, this is all I had left. Well, not this piece obviously, but the bit that I've got is all I've got left of the fabric. So I kind of wanted to test the fit first. So I kind of cut it out, just whizzed it up the front and the back together, and just kind of tried it on to see how it would fit. And I actually put it on with the skirt. Now I will pop a picture in. They're not the most flattering of pictures, because I did this during the week, one of the evenings, so it was like after a long day of work, and probably not looking my best. Also the top doesn't go with the skirt at all. The top is kind of like gingham, neon gingham, and it really doesn't match this at all. But I just wanted to get an idea of how the top would sit with the skirt. And to be honest, I wasn't overly enamoured with the fit, so I cut the top out exactly as the pattern was. I didn't make any adjustments to it, and I had a feeling it was going to be too long in the body here. So the reason I often shorten here is because the sleeve, like the arm side and the sleeve, often sit too low on me. So if I don't make that adjustment, then quite often you will see my bra, or it just sits too low. So quite often I'll remove kind of like an inch across the pattern here, and it just brings that arm side up a little bit, and then it will sit in the right place. I didn't do that on this pattern. I just kind of cut it as it was, just to see, and I knew straight away that it was going to be too low sort of there, so that I needed to kind of lift it up. So I did actually pin the shoulders up just to see and where it would sit in the right place, and I just felt it was really actually quite unflattering. I think because the skirt is kind of A-line and it's quite a structured fabric. Obviously this fabric is quite structured, and I thought if I cut the top out in this, I just feel like it's going to make me look bigger than I actually am. So yeah, I was not disappointed, but I'm kind of glad that I did the test version of it. I think if I do actually make up the top aside from this, then I will probably obviously need to make some tweaks to the pattern. I'll probably need to lengthen it slightly, and I may even need to kind of trim it down a bit, because I think where it goes out A-line is possibly not the most flattering on me. I think for me, like kind of almost fitted, slightly more fitted at the top and then flaring out is much better for my sort of body shape. So I kind of went back to the drawing board, and I thought, do you know what, I might just wear, so when I actually made the skirt, I paired it with a just a basic Naya Tee shirt that I'd made, but I'd made it in a stretch velvet, and it went really well, I think, the red with the red flowers in this. So it was a red velvet, so I will pop a picture of the full outfit in here. And I thought, you know what, I think that would be really nice outfit for frock tails. Even though I've made the skirt, I've not actually had chance to wear it anywhere, so it was always my thought to wear this to frock tails, because it's kind of like the perfect opportunity. So I was kind of thinking, well, I still have this lump of fabric. It was plenty, it was, you know, it's a fair amount to play with. It was definitely enough for a top, and I was trying to think what else I could do with it. And I actually came up with the idea of cutting out a little jacket, just a very basic, you know, like these kind of Chanel type jackets, I guess. So very, very simple, plain front, no fastenings or anything. sort of just cropped so it kind of sits just on the waistband. And just very simple. So I had a look through my pattern stash. I didn't really want to buy another pattern just to make something like that up. I think I did used to have a basic jacket pattern. I couldn't find it anywhere, but I did find this one here, which came from a Love Sewing magazine when I used to subscribe. So it's a very basic pattern. So this runs from size 8 up to 20, so it goes from bust 33 up to 45. So again, it's not overly size inclusive, however it doesn't take an awful lot of fabric. So I kind of like cut the pattern out. I actually cut it out of the largest size, the size 20, because I thought you know, a bust of 45, my bust is my full bust is 40 and this is saying 45, so I kind of thought, well, I'll cut it out of the 20. That gives me a little bit of room. For a jacket, you don't want it too sort of tight. And I didn't want it to end up, you know, sort of pulling across the front. So I decided to just cut it out at the largest size. And I thought, if it ends up being a little bit too big, I can probably then take it in a little bit. But if I cut it too small, obviously that's it. I can't then adjust it and it would be wasted fabric. So I went ahead and cut out, well, what I did is I cut out the pattern first, and then I laid it on the fabric just to make sure I could fit everything on it, and I could. So I have actually cut it out. So this is the front bodice. So it does have a dart on it, but what I did, I kind of wanted to keep it quite simple, and I didn't want all the fuss of like this notch and everything on it. So I just wanted it kind of completely straight here. So what I did, I actually just rounded off the pattern here. So I didn't bother doing the notch where you kind of go in to do that. So I just kept it completely, obviously not straight, but just a nice rounded without the notch. And then because I am short in the body, as I've said a couple of times on this video, sort of up here, quite often I will actually shorten kind of across here, across where it runs into the armhole. But for this particular version, I decided to cut it at the size 14, just on the shoulder. So I've just cut that as the 14, then gone back out to the 20 down here, and the rest. So everything else is cut at the size 20, but I have just shortened the shoulder instead of shortening across the pattern piece here. So all I did basically was fold that over. So that will basically be, I just kind of eyeballed it really. I thought, I held the pattern piece up to me, then I folded it over, and I thought that would probably fit quite well. So if I just hold that up and show you where I have actually folded it over at the 14, I don't know if you can see that, but as you can see, the underarm is fitting in a really good place. Sorry for all the rustling. If I just unfold that and show you, if I'd cut it at a size 20, that would sit a lot lower on me. So the 14 just brings it up a little bit and sits it, makes it sit in the right place. Now, I am a little bit not confused, but I'm having a complete brain freeze with the sleeve, with the sleeve piece. So I have put I had put a post on my Instagram, because basically I don't want to cut the sleeve out and get it wrong and then not have any more fabric left I won't have any more fabric to recut it. But basically, because I have shortened this to the 14, I was thinking then with the sleeve heads, do I then need to cut that at the 14? But obviously the rest of this is at the 20, so I'm sort of thinking, do I need to just cut this kind of at the 14 and then maybe just sort of grade it back out to the 20? and do that. So it's literally just the top of the sleeve will be the 14 to match with the 14 there. So I'm a little bit undecided whether I should do that. A couple of people have said to me that what I should do is to, sorry, it's quite a bit rustling. This paper is actually quite noisy. But a couple of people said to me that what I should do is lay the back piece and, let me turn it around to see if I can. So lay the back and the front piece kind of together, and then so you get the arm side and measure the arm side, and then use a tape measure to measure around the top of the sleeve to see if that will actually fit in. So I did get a few different sort of options about doing things like that. A couple of people said, yeah, just go for it, just grade, you know, cut at the 14 and grade out. What I'm thinking I might actually do is I might just cut it all at the 20 and then just kind of like pin it in and see if it fits. If it doesn't, I can then adjust the pattern and then just recut the sleeve head to fit in. And I'm thinking that might be my best option, but I'm thinking if I just cut it all at the 20, then I can then make the necessary adjustments afterwards. So I think that is what I'm going to do. I am also going to shorten the sleeve by 1 inch because my arms are quite short, and generally I have to do that with most patterns. So I will also just take the sleeve up by 1 inch. So yeah, I'm gonna have a go at doing that today and just kind of pin that together and see how that looks. And I'm hoping with the outfit, I'll just pop another picture in here. So I'll have the skirt in this. I will have a red velvet Naya t-shirt. I've got a gold bag. I've got some nice red shoes, and then a matching jacket with this, which I think hopefully will be a nice outfit for Frocktails. So let me know in the comments below what you think about that and those options, and if I am thinking correctly with the kind of sleeve head and stuff as well, or if there's anything that I haven't really thought of and maybe I've missed. So so yeah, sorry, that was probably a little bit of a long-winded way of explaining, but hopefully that has kind of explained it a little bit. My other plans are yeah, as I mentioned, the Aspen dress, the jacket, and then I would like to get the heather blazer traced off. So I'm planning on making a heather blazer, as I've probably talked about in a couple of my videos. I am doing that as a collaboration, and it has been pushed back a couple of times, but we've kind of set a date of the end of March. So I know we're a little way off that. I've got kind of Frocktails and stuff first, but I would like to make some good progress with that. So I would really like to also get that pattern traced off as well. So I think I might do either today or tomorrow a little bit of tracing of the Aspen dress and the heather blazer to get those done. And the other thing I'd like to do, and this is really sort of for Frocktails, but I've got it all cut out, but I've got an Oxbow tote from Noodlehead all cut out. I haven't really started it yet, so I did make a teeny tiny start on it this week on one of the evenings, and it was basically just to put a little bit of the interface in on some of the bits of fabric. But that's as far as I've got. So everything is cut out ready, but it just needs kind of constructing. And to be honest, that isn't it's not a priority if I don't get it done for Frocktails. So I've basically cut out the overnight bag. So if I don't get it done for Frocktails, it's not the end of the world. And when I do kind of get it made up, it will be suitable for, you know, any other time I go away, I guess. But it would just be nice to take a handmade bag with me for my overnight bag, but you know, it doesn't matter if I don't get it done. So that is they're kind of like my priority plans, I guess. And I think I've got to kind of try and stick to those to make sure that I get some of these bits done for the deadlines that I've got. So that's quite good. And I have kind of updated my Stash Hub projects list to make sure that those items are kind of like the top of my queue. So yeah, that's kind of where I am with my plans and my sewing, up and coming sewing this week. So I do have a sewing social as well in a couple of weeks' time. So I'm hoping that I'll have a little bit of time, because it will be a full day sewing there, that I can sort of crack on with one of the garments, either the jacket or the bag. And I'm hoping I will have got the Aspen dress maybe already made up by then, because my birthday would have just passed by then. So got some nice plans coming up. So I have made a couple of little purchases this week. Now I'm trying really hard not to buy very much fabric at the moment. I have had another little destash. I haven't managed to pop any of those fabrics up on my destash page yet, but I might try and put some of those up this weekend. So I have got a little pile. I've had a really good kind of sort through. So if that is something you're interested in, then I will link my destash page below. It's on Instagram, and I generally only post to the UK. So apologies if you are not in the UK, but they will only be UK posted. Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention, actually, that I've been doing this week. I've had a little, as I mentioned, I had a little sort out of my fabrics, and I've got some of my fabrics are stored in these Kallax boxes, but they're all kind of folded flat on top of each other. So if I want to get one of the fabrics out of there, I often have to kind of pull all of the fabrics out, and it can be a little bit of a pain. So I kind of had an idea of taking all of the fabrics out, rolling them, and then standing them upright in the boxes, and that way when I pull a drawer out, I can see all of the fabrics in one go. So I just wanted to kind of mention that. I will pop a couple of pictures in of that. So I did actually I haven't done all of my baskets, but I have done, I think, about 4 or 5 of them. So I'll pop a couple of pictures in here just so that you can see. I mean, it's not massively neat. I'm hoping it'll work. I will see how it goes, but I kind of really like the way that when you pull the drawer out, you can now see the fabrics, everything that's in that particular basket. So I just thought I would mention that in case it's something that is helpful to somebody else. But I've only got one item here to show you out of the things that I have bought. So I have bought a couple of things with intention. So as I mentioned, I'm making the heather blazer, and I was having a look through my stash as to I think I've decided on the fabric that I'm going to use, but then I was trying to find a lining to go with it, and basically I didn't have a suitable lining that would match. And the fabric that I'm using is actually a leopard print, but it's not the Ace denim. It's another denim that I have in my stash from Fabric Godmother. Actually, I can probably show you because it's just behind the camera here. So I'd really like to have a go. I was going to make it actually in the Ace denim, but I've had this piece of fabric in my stash a little bit longer. So it's this leopard print, and it's got this kind of peachy tone in the background. This is 2 meters, and it's just the exact amount of fabric for the heather blazer, and this also has a little bit of stretch to it, so I thought this would be really good for the blazer. So I had a look through my stash, and as you know, I quite often buy patterned fabrics, so I didn't have any suitable lining fabric that was kind of plain. So I went and had a look online to see if I could find anything, and I actually found on Semi Sunshine, and it was really reasonable actually. I found a sand washed satin fabric in a black, but it kind of had a little bit of a texture to it, so it wasn't completely just plain, and it was £6 a metre, which I thought was really good value. So I did actually buy more of that than I needed, because I thought it would be good for linings for something else as well. So I've bought that to go with this for the heather blazer. So that apparently is arriving today, and hasn't arrived as yet, so I haven't got that with me to show you. And I also picked up a Becky Sewing Studio. She's selling off all of her fabrics because she's decided not to do fabrics anymore, so she's selling off the fabrics that she did have. And there was a fabric on her website that I had previously been interested in, and unfortunately it'd been out of stock, so I wasn't too sort of worried about that. But then she shared a story this week and I saw the fabric had come back into stock, or I think she'd found a roll of it. So she put it online. It was 6 meters, so I bought 3 meters of it. I don't have that yet. I think that is also on its way. It may well arrive today as well. That's a cotton poplin, and it's kind of looks like a bit of a Liberty print, but it's not a Liberty. So that was really reasonable because she was doing 30% off. So I think I paid about £20 for 3 meters. So I'll probably share that in my next week's vlog. And the other fabric that I have bought this week, which hasn't arrived, is another animal or leopard print denim, and it is a lightweight denim from Rainbow Fabrics, which I saw, I think it was Ruan shared it actually, and I thought, oh, I like that one. And so I've bought that with a view to make an aspen dress. So I've purchased 4 meters of that, and that was actually in their sale, so it was £4.99 a meter. So I got that for £20, and then I had a little discount code, so I actually got it for about £17. So it was really reasonable for 4 meters of fabric, and apparently it's really nice quality. So I'm waiting for that to arrive. That may take a little while because I know they've been a bit busy with some of their orders and stuff, but I'm not in any rush for that one. But the other fabric I decided to buy, which I absolutely love, and it is also for another aspen dress, is this. So it's already been pre-washed, and this is called the what's it called, Daisy Bow. So this is also a stretch denim. It's a little bit lighter weight than the burgundy one actually, and it is also the same fabric that they've used on the front of the pattern. So as soon as I saw that, I loved it, and I basically want to recreate that dress. So I think the burgundy denim I'm going to do with short sleeves. What I'd quite like to have a look into is whether I can do the kind of puff sleeves from the new Craft House everyday dress on with that, rather than just these straight sleeves. So I'm going to have a look at possibly doing that. But I really love to recreate this dress with the long sleeves on this one because I really love how that looks. So I had a voucher for Fabric Godmother for £10, which I'd got in the advent calendar, and I actually bought this as a kit. So if you go onto their website and type in Aspen, it then comes up, they've got a few kits that they've put together, and then you can choose whether you want to have the pattern, or you can untick that and say, no, I already have the pattern. So I unticked that. So I bought the kit without the pattern basically, but the kit comes with obviously enough fabric to make the dress. So I think there's about 3.8 meters here. You get the thread, you get, what else do you get? You get a zip, and you get some buttons for the long sleeve, which are it's like a little flower button in this blue colour. So you basically get everything you need to make the dress. And without the pattern, I mean, it's still quite expensive. So it was £75, but I had a £10 off voucher. So I ended up getting the kit for £65. And I worked out to buy 3.8 meters of this was more than that. So actually, it was actually really good value to buy it as a kit, because then I got those extra bits as well. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to kind of making that. But I think I'm going to make the plain burgundy one first. I know lots of people have been talking about the pocket situation, because obviously, I mean, you can't really see it on here, but you've got two options. You've got just the patch pockets, and then you've got the pockets with the frill around them. I do love the pockets with the frill, but I think on a plain fabric, I don't think I will do the frill because of where the pockets are situated, and also the fact that I am slightly bigger chested. I think it would just highlight that area. But on the patterned fabric, I think the pockets with the frill around them will be really nice. So I'm planning on putting just plain patch pockets on the burgundy version, and on the patterned version I will put the patch pockets with the frill. So I'll do that one with long sleeves, and then the plain version with short sleeves. So yeah, it'll be good to see the two, how they come out. But yeah, I'm going to get that traced off and get on with hopefully cutting that out this weekend. So yeah, they're kind of like that's everything that I've had into my sewing room this week. So not very much, but quite a lot of plans. So I think this video has probably gone on long enough now, so I'm going to sign off here and kind of get on with the rest of my day now. It's 12:15, so I'm going to go and have some lunch. This video will come out tomorrow on Sunday, so I hope you enjoy watching this vlog and seeing what my plans, up and coming plans are, and I hope you get some good sewing in and have a good week. So I shall catch up with you again next week, but thank you for watching and I shall see you again soon. Bye bye.